heard some really helpful information. The guy said one of the most frustrating things that a person can do is trying to get an above average position with an above average pay, but they are not an above average person, right? So even if you do get the position by not being an above average person and having an above average job with above average pay, I think it's important to ask the question, how long do you think you can sustain yourself in that position? Because I think the world that we live in, where they say fake it until you make it, I think that may exist in some arenas, but how long can you fake it until you make it? With the world that we live in today, people are they're much more able to identify what's real and what's not.
Okay.
And if we sit in the conference room, we hear somebody talk, I think within the first few sentences, we can really understand if they know what they're talking about. So I asked the question, how long do you have before the term fake it until you make it? How long do you have before that kind of the windows down? I also heard somebody say, I make up in numbers what I lack in skill, right? So I work long hours until I come up to speed, until I have become completely acclimated to the environment or to the people that I work with. So we all want to grow, right? We all want to feel like we're progressing. Kind of talk about what do you do, when you have to be in a position when you got to fake it until you make it, because sometimes you don't know what you don't know.
Okay.
So what's your advice to a person when they are afforded an opportunity and they just don't know?
So when you say fake it until you make it takes me back to the movie ATL with T.I. in it. It makes me kind of laugh a little bit.
Yeah.
But when it comes to faking it until you make it, in the event that you are fortunate enough, and I guess we can call it fortunate if you do the right things. If you're fortunate enough to get a position that you might possibly not be qualified for, and you're trying to fake it until you make it, my suggestion or my thought would be, stop faking it and become it. So you stop faking it and you become it by learning, by studying, by reading. And I think that you put the long hours in by doing your research, doing your due diligence, coming up to speed, putting in the extra effort to become what is needed by that position, what's required. And so I think that's the simple answer. It's the simplest answer I can come up with if you want to maintain that position. Otherwise, you won't be in that position very long, because, like you said, people can see through the veil, and the veil ends up it's very thin, and it ends up coming down. I think the other thing is that you said something very on about having a position, or thinking that you deserve a position that you may not necessarily be qualified for. So I also think that a lot of times, as potential candidates for positions or in a certain position, we have unrealistic expectations of what positions we should have, and also what our pay should be. And we don't necessarily take an accurate or objective inventory of what our skills and abilities are. So I think you also have to take an objective look at what you have to offer, because I think the more you focus on offering to the company or the organization that you're trying to become a part of, as opposed to what you can get from them, then that's when your money increases. You have to focus more on what can I do to improve this outcome? What can I do to solve these problems, as opposed to how much money can I get by working here? Anybody can do work, but can you solve problems? Can you be of value? What's your value? So I think those are the things that you want to look at more. And certainly about that, fake it till you make it. Stop faking it and just become it. Put in the work and become it. Become what they need. Become what the organization needs.
Right. Yeah.